Today is Classic Tabletop RPG Friday here on RPG Elite, and what that means is that we're going to get back into our series on the Dark Conspiracy RPG, and we are looking at the lore. Now, out of all of the classic games that we have done so far, this is the only one that had an in-depth lore attached to it. I did Gamma World 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the best you had out of those was like a paragraph or a half a page or half of a column on a half a page, something like that. You really didn't have lore. You had pretty much like conditions and things like that. Top Secret, no lore. Traveler, no lore. And when I say no lore, I'm talking about no lore in terms of what was in the core books in the games that we covered, nothing. But in Dark Conspiracy, it has some pretty involved lore, and so now we get a chance to see the place where your characters get thrust into. And what's good about this is that the GM can use the lore, obviously, to add flavor and context for the player characters, and the players can use it to really connect their characters to the world. That it's not just stuff that's happening around them, but that, hey, yeah, I know this about the world, and my character may have gone through this, or may have been from here, or may have witnessed this. And it really starts them off with a firm foundation connected into this dark future. So we're going to get into that, part 2 of our 3-part series. So that is where we will be today. And as always, on the other side, I have the question of the vid. Let's do this, y'all, and roll 'em.
Social class structure has been recategorized and renamed into 3 designations: gnomes, mics, and proles. Gnomes are the privileged class, the absolute financial elite of the world. Most are born into privilege with family money, guaranteeing a superb private education, and family influence securing choice entry-level positions in the corporate world. Mics is the new name for the middle class, or what's left of it. There are 2 groups: wage slaves, which is an offensive term, and outsiders, who are regarded as the true mics. Wage slaves form the bulk of the salaried workforce for the large corporations. They include such positions as accountants, middle management, clerks, janitors, technicians, and security personnel, who are more thuggish than security. For creative vocations, this is the purview of the outsiders: writers, design engineers, artists, performers, software designers, game developers, and the like. They create and sell their own products and services. Most work on a royalty or piecework fee basis, selling their work to the highest bidder. Proles is the new name for the lower class, and we are talking lower class. Gone are the days of the government handouts. There is no such thing as welfare. The government can no longer afford it. These people are on the fringes of society, struggling to survive. They have no regular income or permanent residence. Some earn a meager living as ballot men, selling their vote proxies to the mega corporations. In return, they get a stipend of clothes and food. Those who do not sell their votes usually end up turning to a life of crime. Rural America, once a landscape of rolling green hills and farmlands, is now anything but. These places have become dumping grounds for the corporations where oil spills and toxic waste buildup spread across the land. The anemic government can't enforce the anti-pollution laws which were once in place against the mammoth corporations' power, coupled with a thinning ozone layer, acid rain, and radiation zones from nuclear strikes and R-bombs, which are just smaller nuclear dirty bombs, that some countries and terrorist organizations have used on American soil. Rural America is a ghoulish nightmare. This has wreaked havoc with the environment. No one, and I mean no one, drinks the water without having it treated first if they want to avoid dysentery or radiation poisoning or a million other things that can happen from ingesting it. Atmospheric pollution has significantly disrupted weather patterns. Extreme fluctuations in temperature and precipitation are more pronounced than ever. Rains are heavier, and more often than not, it's acid rain. Drought severity is higher. Freezing temperatures reach down near the tropics, and the reverse of tropical heat can make its way almost to the Arctic. All of this has made the countryside unlivable, except for some large agricores, die-hard farm families who just refuse to be run out of their legacy, and bandit raiders. The countryside has, in large part, been abandoned. Rural roads still exist as well as highways, but the latter are not well maintained. About 1 out of every 5 towns or villages remains in existence. These areas have taken a step back technologically about 50 to 100 years. And the rest? Well, they're ghost towns. Wildlife has increased unrestrained. The insect population has skyrocketed. Dark insect swarm clouds can be seen traveling throughout the countryside. Animal populations who prey on insects such as birds and bats have grown at the same astronomical rate. Other predator populations have increased also. With unmitigated pollution and the wildlife explosion, disease and other plagues develop because of the rise of dead animals across the land. The only ones who appear to benefit from this and have come out relatively unscathed are the carrion eaters, vultures, and crows. This new Wild West of rural America has given rise to tribal orders across the land. These smaller communities are extremely distrusting of outsiders, especially in the surviving towns and villages. Travelers face near hostility and envy, so they have to tread very carefully. Local governments have been forced to take up the slack, and they strongly resent any intrusions into their authority by federal or state entities. Very few people have means to travel any distance. Anyone riding in a vehicle or even a healthy beast of burden is generally wealthier than the locals, and guess what? They just don't like being reminded of their own poverty. These communities are also far less educated than those living in the megaplexes. Therefore, superstition and bias are normal fare. Coming across a friendly town is almost impossible. Strangers should expect an uncaring, rude welcome just about everywhere they go. This is especially true for the outskirt areas, where gangs rule in modified cars and motorcycles with mounted guns, performing robberies and extortion as a vocation.
Are you noticing a pattern here? The pattern is that it just seems to go from bad to worse. We're working our way from like the center of the megaplexes, and then we're working our way outwards into the plains, and things just are not good. They're pretty bad, actually. Pretty bad. Hey, if you got any value out of this video at all and you're learning a little bit, maybe it's the first time you even heard anything about Dark Conspiracy RPG and you're like, man, I don't know, sounds kind of interesting, then could you do me a favor if you got anything out of this, and could you go ahead and crush the like button? Also, if you want to stick around here on the YouTube channel, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well, because I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, God willing. But if you want to stick around outside of that, then you need to join the Elite Squad. And I got something special connected to this now. And by joining the Elite Squad, you're joining my mailing list. You're getting entered into a free giveaway every month. You are having access, or potential access, because it's really up to you whether you want to join, but you have access to a private Guilded server. And now there's an experiment that I just started 2 weeks ago, but I'm only making it available for Elite Squad members at the moment. And we're going to be testing this and experimenting with this for the next couple of months. So if you want to be in on that grand experiment, you better get in on the Elite Squad right now, because I'm about to actually send out the newsletter that announces this officially, because the people over on the Guilded server, well, they get all things pretty much first. Then it goes to the newsletter, and then it goes to out and abroad. So if you want to do that, this is how you do it. You go down, there's a link down in the description. You've seen it go across the screen. It's Elite Squad sign up or Elite sign up. Go ahead, click that link, and it will take you to a landing page. You're gonna go down, put your name in, put your email, hit the blue button. That's it. That's all you need to do. And it's over. It's over. You're part of the Elite Squad, and all those things will be available to you. Let's get to the question of the vid today. Little interesting kind of hypothetical here. If you were part of a team that were going to make a movie that uses the Dark Conspiracy setting and lore, what would you title the movie? And it can't be Dark Conspiracy. All right, so there is the question of the vid. You have to put your thinking caps on and see what kind of interesting titles for a movie using the Dark Conspiracy setting and lore. I'm interested to see what you guys come up with, so help a brother out and get some engagement going down in the comments. And that's it, folks. That's all I got here for today. So you know what that means. It means it's time to do my snuggle puss.
So exit, stage left.
Hey, if you got a game this weekend, happy gaming, y'all. I pray it is an RPG Elite session. Until next time, God willing, once again, your boy servants outie. Gotta say peace. 5,000 leaks. I just love saying that. I really do love saying that. Hey, y'all, your brother is gone.